guys, welcome to Digit.in, and today we're checking out the brand new Kia Sonet, which is apparently loaded to the gills with tech features. You've got air purifier, you've got a 10.25-inch display over here, you've got an all-digital information cluster system, you've got sunroof, wireless charger, oh my god, and not to mention the Uvo connected app ecosystem. So there's a whole bunch of things to talk about, so let's just quickly dive right in and start with this kick-ass infotainment system. Let's talk about all of the tech that's inside the Kia Sonet. There's actually quite a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to start with this big gorgeous hunk of glass. This is a 10.25-inch display, and it's basically the center of the infotainment setup. Now, what you can do is you can of course customize these, what you want to see over here. I've got my map, my clock, and of course music over here. But let's go deep and see what's inside. First off, let's talk about the sound. The Kia Sonet, this is the GT line, features a 7-speaker Bose system. All of it connected to this gorgeous 10.25-inch display, which is the center of your infotainment system. The system also supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So all you have to do is just connect your Android or your Apple smartphone using a cable, and then the respective system would pop up. But let's dive deeper and see what kind of a sound system do we have. So going into sound, there's quite a bit you can do. You can of course position the center of the sound to be either front bias or towards the center or towards the back, and of course also move the channels around. But you can also tune your bass, mids and treble settings the way you would like them. So if you like listening to electronic music, you may want to emphasize on the bass and the mids, but if you listen to a lot of jazz, you may want a specific tuning. It's just a 3-step tuner. You don't have an elaborate equalizer, but that's all right. It's still a pretty amazing system. On top of that, there's also other things like navigation, warning sounds, etc. So you can configure all of that over here. You can choose if there is a parking risk. For example, maybe while you're reversing or parking, you're very close to an obstruction. Do you want that warning sound to drown out whatever music you're playing? So you can, enable that. Navigation priorities. So with voice guided navigation, it'll lower all of the music and just give you the navigation instructions. So you have all of these options. Now, system volume. Now, there is so much more going on over here. You've got all of these different options you can completely customize to your liking. Okay, then connected device volume. So you've got Android Auto, and you can tune media volume and the voice guidance volume again. So the idea is that the level of customization that is being offered for sound is absolutely incredible, and you could spend quite a lot of time just going over all of these functions and all of this capability that is being offered. It allows you to customize the display in its entirety, the sound completely. You can have it biased towards the front, towards the back. You can tune the equalizer. You can do all of that, and you can of course tune the way sound behaves. So for example, if you're navigating and you're also playing music at the same time, if you don't like the fact that the navigation turns the music down just to make an announcement, you could turn it off. You could do so many things all in this. The level of customization available is just so amazing. If you get out of that and you go into voice recognition, you could set it up to basically respond to a wake word. So for example, hello Kia, what's the weather like today?
The weather is 35 degrees and mostly sunny in Kazan.
Hello Kia, can you get me directions to Cyber Hub Gurgaon?
Here are directions to Cyber Hub.
And that's not all. You could even have navigation be guided by a voice. So for example, if you have your home address set up, you could just tell it to, hey, set navigation for home, etc., etc. It's actually pretty cool. And we always have situations where sometimes the voice wake word does not work. So Kia is actually built in a dedicated key right on the control center. You press it and it's ready to listen to you. So all I have to do is push a button.
How can I help you?
I need to get to Sarita Vihar. And
Here are directions to rail park.
there you go. Hey Kia,
How can I help you?
turn the AC up to 24 degrees.
Setting temperature to 24 Celsius.
Now, speaking of the air conditioning in the Sonet, this is something really cool. The GT line actually features air conditioned seats as well. So, if you've been running around shopping, you're all sweaty, one of the biggest problems is that while the air conditioner will always cool your front down, your back still remains very, very sweaty. This takes care of that, and that's pretty cool. Right next to the air conditioning, seat air conditioning buttons, you also have this little camera button, which basically it allows you to view your surroundings as you're driving. So this rear view camera becomes enabled when you drive, and you can see the back of whatever's behind your car over here. So this basically ties into Kia's Uvo ecosystem, which is the connected app. Now you have, of course, a whole host of voice control features that you can do. Like I said, there is a wake word you can use, and if you find that kids in the car are being too bothersome, everybody is having way too much fun abusing that, you could always turn that off and use a little button that's dedicated on the steering wheel to basically do the voice command. Okay, device connections. You can actually pair quite a number of devices with this. There's already 6 devices that were paired. It's not asked me to delete any device so far, so I'm guessing you can pair even more. And you of course have settings for both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in here as well. This is very important, especially because you do have a wireless charger in the car if you want to charge your phone, but if you're going to use your device with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you want to have it plugged in. I mean, they only work plugged in because of how much battery they drain, the feature drains. Now, here's something very interesting. There's also a lot of features about your car that you can control from this system. For example, parking safety. Do you want to be warned about, and there are sensors in the front and the back, so it can warn you about that. There's climate control. There is headlight timeout. Also, one touch indicator. So if you don't want to press the turn indicator all the way, you could just tap on it, and this allows you to configure how many times it will flash before it turns off. So you've got that, you've got auto lock for doors, auto unlock, and then of course the information cluster, which you can also configure from here. You also have this entirely digital information cluster system. So basically only the 3 needles for your fuel, your RPM, and your engine temperature are actual physical entities. Everything else is digital, it's a display. So that's pretty nice. Everything looks bright, it's visible even with the sun hitting it directly. It's pretty awesome. But in addition to that, there's also a whole lot more that makes this car super tricked out. Now we have the Kia Sonet GT line trim, which is the GTX Plus. Comes with a sunroof right here. This is not a roof with the sun, but this is pretty cool. This is like everybody's favorite party trick, right? Have a sunroof in the car. Practically speaking though, I mean, given how hot it is, you would not even ever want to open this thing. It lets all of the cold air out. Not only that, it also introduces a lot of pollutants in the car. But you know what? No worries there, because the Sonet comes with an air purifier built into the car. So this thing right here is an air purifier unit which is embedded into the armrest, and it can actually clean the entire cabin's air fairly quickly. Now I've been driving this car for almost 8 hours straight since the morning, and have taken regular pit stops to see if the AQI will rise and how quickly it falls. And I'm actually quite surprised that this is able to bring the AQI down to about 16 very, very quickly within about half an hour. And as somebody who has asthma and has breathing problems, and I have family members who have breathing problems, this is absolutely brilliant to have. What's also cool is if you're doing a Bluetooth thing, right, and you don't want to plug in cables, Kia built a wireless charging pad right here into the car. What's really cool is sitting just behind the charging pad is this thin sliver of a vent which pushes out cold air, because we all know that when there's wireless charging involved, things tend to heat up a little bit. So that keeps your phone cool. I really appreciate this little attention to detail. Pretty impressive and very nice on Kia's part. The other thing that Kia brings to this segment, a first perhaps in this segment, is ventilated seats. Now these seats have vents built into them, and I've got my air conditioner cranked all the way to the max so that I don't start sweating out my back. In fact, a lot of times, for example, maybe you've gone out to play a sport and you've come back sweating, you turn the AC on, you cool down from the front completely, but you're still drenched on the back and you leave these ugly wet stains on the seat. So having these vents really helps, because you can now cool down from the front and the back. Great stuff. There is a 12 volt cigarette lighter slot, so you can plug in a charger or something if you wanted, but there is a dedicated USB plug for charging your phone. In fact, there's one at the back as well, so there's no shortage of charging points in this car. And given that there's already a wireless charger built in, it's pretty cool, right? So there you have that. Now, another really cool feature about this car is its cruise control. Typically, cruise control has not been as intuitive as it is on this one. Once you set cruise control to on, you can control the speed with the flick of a switch. Like, do you want to set it to 60? Do you want it to set it to 80, 90, whatever? And you can reduce it and increase it dynamically. And that's actually super helpful, because then you don't have to bother with brake, accelerator, push of a button, etc. Like in the older versions of cruise control, that used to be the case. So there you have it, guys. That's a quick look at all of the tech features that the Kia Sonet is going to be bringing to the market. It's actually quite a lot. So I would very strongly recommend that you go to a showroom near you, try out the car, take it for a drive, and more importantly, spend time on all of the features, going through them to see if they're the right kind of things that you want in a car or not. As for me, I'm pretty impressed, and I'm gonna go ahead and make more videos so that I can make more money so I can afford this car. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.